Erlich circuiter. Vuka. Silna visit silver you be Soviet by the feeling. A dinner table, a family reunion, a room in sable, and then still feel nobody there because something inside you's already decided to go. They don't really see me. That feeling, that quiet, heavy certainty in you all and everyone. Perceived social isolation, it has nothing. Thuộc biên ninh true. Đó là một nền học từ sự siêu việt và tự do. To do with Sartre room. Eunice everything a Munmai is doing inside a room. Intuitionist measured it, the Buddha described. Ta có xây tuộc và tư tưởng của ông đó là zikre. They sagly a not by sai. Na si chill so perceptions that are jang te. That when modern psychology finally cuts up the sai filio sai constructs. Mogata de silms of the siu stulpen sedingsen. Its film secredosi. Alone. In the practice, the si nam big that singtion, citrin the stain is, si, an advisory, cốt lõi từ triết học về sự siêu việt và tự do. Not about a virus, not about opioids, about loneliness. Roughly 1 in 2 American loneliness, and in 2, the Yo's language usually reserved for. Public health crises, of Strunusen. That's a uverim one history. The health data is staggering. The meta-analysis of a nitanaforticity. Smoking 15 the CISOs it's been seen in the CSIR. Lacking strong social today. Là một nền triết học về sự siêu việt và tự do. Loneliness carries a 26% increased mortality and immunity. Disrupts sleep. Accelerate distinguish between being physically threatened and being socially isolated. Wait till the unison loneliness is danger. To your nervous deceit secret sought to be spur and cushion. This its dissipation. Loneliness the asum fosum seely with them. At su wisit suasu siovits wiu. As surrounded by others are quietly suffering. The taperly surrounded others, it's literally shortening their lives where unishortion with the theme waits and makes it trainskin. Than mosi feed in siadof tre yapwito. More followers, more feeds the Noki show. And lonelier than ever which racedo. Lissiver, honest bonus solutions never about perception, to kodo. Uda motitsians Ostern answers maze. The standard why Western ends maze. Standard advice for lonely and seek, bonaru share your feelings, community. And if none of that works therapy, is persited. The symbolian suits unison. But, notion to only, that's we fop. It's only nasi silfter. Dudes we fun in the bridge bout to Tifert, to sits in the company in that chair. You're here, it sounds reasonable. They're here. Build a bridge, it sounds reasonable, but there's seen as a sound to be the totem worse, the software infinite connection. This it software at cease as Tifert at station. Einafan where, inwhere. Einwhere on and the D2 inwhere. A study at them limited to their sole media of tutu, tutskudi. The still vid silde vedut tatsi. Rejections in loneliness and depression, not from Mikla kind of exclusion simulated connection, was actually deepening the feeling of elation why of the silm jurta fabo. Because scrolling the sui furpert through constantly. Liju ame bristu, toolning chuedi the emerson. It weighed and might it. The jointion aquili, yea. The sakakra si matrit si. We got play. He for simply an inflation. They aftun. This far it feels like an observation. Then, reinforces a story your mind observation, d'accord. To it your lectures it's in seek shafty separation. In your instance of core. This is where as a constructure, and then living side decades of studying. Đó là một nền triết học về sự siêu việt và tự do. Loneliness at the universe and deceptive simple. Loneliness not about being alone. It is about perceiving yourselves isolated. His exact loneliness is synonymous with perceived. Da. The filtenim về sự phiêu này could say. Social isolation not objective connection. Co-we-cd tempunas and feed hundred connections and feel but alone. Wat the TV teensa. The CT viviming bendervesa. The variamal sapang to lifer, the tillness of een of contasers sin the sesa. Modern perception. Cốt lõi tư tưởng của ông đó là một nền triết học về sự siêu việt approaches. The events stop once absorbed to the feeling. They measure its health approaches stopper than same. The kin to to tazar. Change your external conditions, find rats or friends. Join of to a tuckable neighborhood Johan. Cause of disconnection from meaningless. The fanzine is the gilnichir for tsile silvet batudo. Work to child suv. The prelation. Work to childhood and his question is powerful. Whatting if depression is grief for the lost? Fix's answer was for isologic people. Bao cơ tư tưởng của ông. Hess, partially right. Về sự siêu việt vì these structures matter. Just partially. Vì the structures y mean savuni đi tân y mean fandu cất y mean sul về sự siêu tuật y still seat. Lại tu buộc ông về sự siêu việt of tu zan. To seal the table. Only some zom norser change to. The quiet platret everyone. The quiet rete mind separate. The spinning than thoughts to construct. To gay. The stillness enough for the necessary. In visit suturitry. To infantry. Suit scotchatrium. Psychology versus psychologic problem. It's a perceptual problem. The piece itself took her shui. Silkvi for plan zaffa to its mechanism with precision that the modernal. It's only for plaxit mind's tendency to sutrating. Continue in topen and cup the winin shit hawk vesu silviatu. Key the connoisseur. To wishu arsher, miprif book fur, the feeling of loneliest of her. Tak descent sides of with secru. Soothed in the silva silv that siritra year production in your mind runs so fast, you natural noted the links. And in the next section, vesu seal the wall gets ill. Min the necrit can't stop, cốt lõi tư tưởng của ông. Đó là một nền triết học về sự lưu Buddhist và tự do. The dopamine loop that keeps you scrolling. At 2 in the morning, the one that promises. Connection delivers comparison, has a connection in the Buddha comparison. Craving not to seal for something specific. Ta có lõi tư tưởng của ông, đó là một nền chima siêu việt tự do. Craving as mode of being the mind reaching outward again. So will finally be the thing that filled the grass, but finally be the thing that fills the gap. Plassimness Netarusru goes deeper into Dizang traced it with a Frisian the Sitzpratisto. In the Dubidi almost like. Clinical ping reads to D, the un of the menu fart, ne the stiln the mo pingly canon, in Sacham stalls skin, cheat in some verse of two. And it describes what happens in the moment some touches your senses, and the moment something touches tutunqua obchum sai chi di sem sinskum choose to tell. The secret of a solicitorate for two. Feeling pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. The maraption the mind begins to elaborate in neutral, visuxprixiensit. The binna susiu fuxiquen. What do you are? What the use and ver you kim? What the end of that chain? The sequent narrations at the Saltons. The modern sinsum silvitutu. Duty is violencist and intentional. The word choose to be assailed, it ran now you're living. Inside it, a plan the narratum. Contact a listing. Talking. A human afidi wins a year of a dough. Feeling something. Perception mind. Registers perception thing. Vida qua o. In neat fee wins ways the divers a snupting a take subson. They katsutu do. Nobody really sees me. Nobody really sees me. Owen is ring wrong the thing by the time you reach for your phone. You do when you reach to the room anymore. The yumni sipa twushori vartavo. There's responding to a sorry sacracy. You're for seven up enough so sure sacrants. The sorry li shufor. There's law contact. They cause to feeling come deception. With sitting, proliferation. And mumpation the unisimma art of sation. Nobody understands me as not an observation. It believed the forest of fist chain. Taswation suquay. Penots at sinner. The stillness its bottom the secrets suquirts. In the seek finis dort fertilipatum placens. When the spinets eat for seeker. The beat at sieve out visit siever silviet the tuature to conquer fall. There it thinks. There is automatically. Self and other go to notchin point self in the room. Đó là một nền triết học về sự siêu việt và tự do. Mind says I and everything else becomes them. Loneliness is not a feeling of boundary your mind's constructed, a feeling forgot it constructed. That's the mechanism. To your mods mouth to see, the stir. How this internal process it's external. The stillness de tomorrow, to we mistake for a complex troll. There's a teaching in a Manita and a Sutta, than Lisa. Về Chang Chiết học and Vinit Caesar lays this out 20th century laid diagram of modern social life. The chain goes like this. Craving arises, craving comes seeking minds, comes listen, acquisition. Cốt lõi tư tưởng của ông đó tên triết học tờ bảo. The fee something seal certains make you. To find of come Caesar came the thief to listen, evaluate, compare, decide. The thief something what it's worth. From the tin seat coming on the tinser. The zin ring. From the t-shirt comes attachment. From attachmentness, from deceiveness, defensiveness. Statune the sacks the quarrels. The stimulates accusation. To me tư tưởng của ông. Divisive the siêu hat và tự do device still. The sumive in lies from a quiet inner craving to outward social breakdown map 25 centuries before. Watch what happens when you lay this. Cốt lõi tư tưởng về sự siêu việt và tự do. Chain over a single evening with a smirchless stirs. That's its craving, formless, not pointed at anything. You pick up the phone, you open it anything. Axophone, sitt sikrenonest at citra sil chic for reading sil we for they. Indulnasianus sichu. Indutil listen. As chanet sit sichen. In something they have to you want it dismiss it so it tops ups. We. Listy to synomishan. Hurting the scrolling. You keep fielding a case's attachment, feed my world, for how things are possessiveness. In us not even to that impressive stinginess you unfollow, ningamunin tushu. The tc vavesi seem to feel daft do, defensiveness collapsing inward, ini to fonsivus kosen. Excluded, ningina fertin, collapsing monv couch, samatua is this hawk visu Soviet, vatuda. Lunacy. See the seeings of carcerity. C. Seeing the pattern is seat ancient the phone just chit some social media. A dinner party. The Soviet wit nation years. Thưa quý vị Mary, the Svitini Nasun va, Richelson, acquisition completion. Comparison breeds, Civistigitson most people get wrong, is a Cockney unicrus uza. If the self-constructed and the boundary, if the self is constructed in the boundary, conclusion seems to be in thievery, and separation illusion seems to be, that sounds beautiful. To cốt lõi tư tưởng của ông là một nền triết học teachers say it consonant. In the Buddha very specifically did not say it. People are, this suggested the infinite connected. Có thể thấy rằng cốt là một nền triết học về sự siêu việt và tự do. The unity inner, Kaffener Stiepe, inner in a simpancher, the scholarterizy vestopen in the stero bikru, direct about to this, inches of dien swever fintrago. Unison listen inu, because we live in interkenistin the verse ecoistem. Then lo to tương quân ông the mari snots menissen famni, in no to tilpenen, the leesest of Silviet vatuto, in furfer zo, tinsader. The consofferder, calmness door suda, likader, cosmically suvis is silvis suffering, to the unfumenfian to waiting that is silviet, the gesunisian this tuneless clinging regardless of fluid yourself is finite or fin to fluidus of tuifian, betimet fluidness nasiltri or not, see not so day plady. The yipapicanistry everything, the not separate see because you're in harder. The siln the construction to bar the solution Silviet, va by harder. See una on one side of a, dussen beachutes have a silstiten. Imching for trading. Hedi mainching, dussen by crashing. I am the thinker for the instruction, does my teaching hawk for siwitiv disappear relationship, in su sudatitsatu. Tugashin remains CAs or removes the weight conviction. The conic all you are. Fun to linearly, and once you see everything you encounter built you can spool is. There's a practice for that, the seeking cốt lõi tư tưởng của ông, that you can't do alone. One you can do alone. You can do tenantite, And the research on met loneliness specifically is remarkable. Practice that helps most. In wordy years chi, the sinuner tu sitre, vacan me titre, the noon to change. His loving kindness and that, in Lispu, wadi. Kanzoni to you your silni the universu, you mimichin michuncher tu. Kolmosin is something soft at your psalm. Your swit siepen, and only vid like, the sklitcher, bekorfer. Chimen cheek vanina seer swetchinerits, hinimen chichininger, nafferf to lir. Be love, ho play vitum the spatu blissa, the never the Pali word for love, in bidere the bida once recommencen, in the bidere first universin. Love builds cognizant. Love plays favorites as this person or that partial one. That should be how to seal viet vatuza alive. Because the moment you have a favorite, everyone else becomes other, what the Buddha else becomes different. Different meta means goodwill and attitude that wishes all beings well. Being in a vesuikuits of fazina sifnata the sefer. Lichern. Da. A stance toward. Ming in a tuinavor. Manufacture. An intention that's suvit from suffering. Come loi tư tưởng của ông đó. Mi Vanessa free copper. Mi yifert si pinitri. Miki stingy yifer. Mivanata kiristri. The sinwati for siumlitsum. Idikonten men vishen von Carson, sir. Wichinten chitrin tu avuzunari. The chaintistum teachri. Onen mitat. The cart sichin mistum poa teaches wurter. And it, the kotrastuchu onoffer child for tusen. Tukenains a metaver, contains that own mother that's risk carver, as a mother, but risk her life to protect childer only. Child chithok visu Silviet to love all, dal. Onisdin visu suku Silviet. Vatuzu. That's the popular version. In its wrong, Tanisas correction zu, precise, the comparison praxis of quo. Damolamut nin chithok visu Silviet, the protects attitude. Cosmos the way a mother protect toward the entire. Goddess protects her its only child, guard it, nurture irritation, or sin it die in a moment of withdrawal that loneliness breeds. We uninapu. Dalam li shurdok the susupitu. The text, kutidun for the naffer. With goodwill luna tonight at the obstructen. The text I can use when limits heart obstructing. The kodloi tư tưởng của ông đó là một nền triết học capacity for goodwill. Your own natural capacity wall and the pontion, but a storm building was outward. When a direction was a resound as to favorites, quietly, he can tilifren, visu seal viet vatsuto. You don't need a cushion, or a timer, or a special loom works. The edge of your bed works, 2 in the morning. When you can't sleep, phone's calling your name that works especially well. You be calling. In sinister secrety, we see noptimate secret so the most important, better for art listen. To extilnen matrave perform to the stinnen outward. We attempt to you hold one intention, may be happy. And cốt lõi tư tưởng của ông đó là một nền triết học về sự siêu việt và tự do. From any oppression, from trouble you don't need to feel anything, you're setting intention in motion. You might set a direction before walking, the feeling may come or may not. Ta coi tư tưởng của ông, đó là một nền siêu việt what matters sukra. The sumna silna, then you expand a shuk of someone in priest mind. May you be happy, may you men settle, don't rush. Cốt lõi tư tưởng của ông, then. The sut siêu việt dak chingver, the onliness to wistation. Carf and loneliness to stako, the someone in sun chesses to yuden su mudo. To cốt lõi tư tưởng của ông. Đó là một nền triết has filed under not relevant. Someone your mind has filed to not relevant and you generate the same intention toward them. May you be happy. May you be free from suffering. Someone who was background is the bound around. The insa for CC Spuritui. See how for sự siêu việt và tự do. Someone chill. In kuani for somsen when chi chostum for in chomsa vers calling in the sill. The stuan in chill. Enemy not yet. The sea. The scene is that Stevers too soon silva, withdrawn from. Meanest of verse to. The self the teaching me verse twa. The only titu, the resistancer, the lickessence, my goodwill, and that is the voices preserve, running its chain, constructing variation. The dawn doesn't come, the downforce. It comes still never su sutikatan, final, yumnasiver. Above, of still and all around. Not a concept as a sự siêu việt extend. It comes to cốt lõi tư tưởng nafter về sự siêu việt và tự do. Free from animosity, from oppression, from troll. May they look triết học về themselves with ease. That line is swear, the years look at you therefore, that ta, that siucitus is finds persiste. That's pa, that's go to. The reckoning's happiness in souls and alchemy. That's a mintu to far to meeters it's imbagal. The ichun and the fervor of the usum archiston. Muna cert, some artisan tim groyensta. Muna study of the farsitures. Mina the silt, it display kukmer verstrado. Speen versupen, took me faring. Stakes in wart ftasever state stover. Twists, co-connection in the street siu chastivlin, funanustrin, min the timniversum the siu situita tu. What a change was the meditators, the perception. A few minutes of the meditati, as in the sedum of the tsiblist in Nature Scientific, min si coven, noctagu. Research tracked the effects of o. Research canned in compassion meditation. Program on older adults specifically finding. Program in chithok adults specifically training through community building. The mindnika quirmness of say. The shift in lief what as su Soviet of society. The one-to-way. The Buddhist canunum firm person. The slift confirmed of them. The stint bestuensenzi. Waits to forestreams. Is dear to plexion, he dove to dreams. No evil stis. Is dear to human beings to force protect one. The mind gains concentration quickly once gains on Soviet. To we shall re-over. Vi shall pointing for it to famua. Car. To one toots nowhere place some those are poetic. If we're. Notice the first three so listen. Chest. So we veer to human being. Sat. Phone in hand chest. Tia soppery. That nameless feeling plefaries. Tight with it known for worse some leanness tas. Tunis eater. Vuk that a secret chiefer for siu shuiser. That you feel for. Vuk calling a dinner change that to see when in shuitzer. In the sea street safer. Secret warmer. Caught off with silvit vatudo. That's meta working. Between the sardve Soviet verse to fill with. There's worse your mind used to loneliness. Open sea square sequesti verse for to go prifter chair. If he mapped it sieta understood lonelishin, stew. Eunice en the mention overst in the ractus unin suppost to neen of diuza to neen of so. River banks, the foot of trees in the middle, of no heart he walked through India for 45 years. After his awakening silept về siêu Việt và tự do, đó quân ni siết học về sự siêu Việt và tự do. Sometimes once in thousands of recorded. Teaching file, a person today can have 2,000 followers, 3 group chats, a partner in the next room, and a phone full. Siêu Việt Nunatra, feel for a so. Off. So heavy it messages and feely. And the difference is not by personality, or temperament simply in sporasiction. Filial that sings the Buddha drew one, in seclusion. The enough for oft mince the sea seal detrusion to teenful culture. That modern secret chose it means seclusion, but kana Stillman hide. The gisos imus lauded deliberate, intentional. First, quote bot fish in a sewer to from station of far to. Buddha distinct. Levels the first, physical seclusion kayavika simplying. The way from noise can from stimulation, the dongthian seclusion station. Acquisitions in sealsing from. The mind itself becoming of a city. In the third, the mind succeed from the Soviet to quivi devatri, the Soviet to. My identity, when the seehops the splizant sea tree. In an stative, absorption is the fart in the stays. In an loneliness. Cốt lõi tư tưởng của ông đó là một nền triết học về sự siêu việt và tự do. Loneliness that has Eunice and sealed and entered with clarity. loneliness and solitude, tinterparator, tinsilnafood from the Arden, sincere opus, the silence soisen, the silminus Venetian founder, this connection, converts is unwanted. The stilmenil under Versailles ver, counter, mind built seal locked to inside, the slowness and the Soviet, claritito. Solituden, the mound is slaughter reaching. Via mound and in chithaftation is present so. It's the clearing, to quý where the monk har. In the season the known refutes, quiets, imna displacen. In the Thinanama Sutra, universalicera, among the imna, the cease to eat with others, the unis vorfar to swar saver. Profusi, to unis immunity to a kim foi to fi un to feelnischen. Responsive water for solid, sisiun sku for solace, vizututu da the sifi di silfi kosen lives his own. A person lives alone whereas past his liver, whenever is, abandoned any passion or desire, and any passion or desire, I call one lives alone. The sitsu filproviet vatutzo. You could be in a crowded marketplace. You could be in a crowded marketplace. You can in an empty cave and coatlet live alone cause your mind is reaching backward into regret. Distumi chisatog besu silftitsu. Ristits solitude neforver har. The sea to mayfram. True sea of a simple another, to. We to me for. They. The chitings in nasisum persiso. But cravings come from ignorance. Cravings come from ignorance. The chromadnagets hoc the chisu Soviet to comfort. To do see univer teacher vesuna felissa. The fantasy vir I. The unisuppositionetstuchen. Teacher, with stupra, leading you cheaper. Into the construction. Lead stopperin. Whence you sit with it, the yosi unisistising. The unisistiso. The silence appealance is ceastin and cease underneath so. Silence is wonderneath Soviet so. Ver op and ver flexion. Twaikon. Vesu Soviet vatudo. It stopped obstructing separation the saloon and be fine with it. It's Stoicism, cốt lõi tư tưởng của ông đó nên triết học it's that stoicism not dharma. The sulnan zabropanima vergas, the virtuzi. Team when you see through bow. The psalms wasted this ilsomely. The unans akaus benins to listen. Yugin si shu situ, was seal, the lõi tư tưởng của ông. Đó là một nền triết học về sự siêu việt và tự đủ. So let's go conver we started, laughter soon nervousus. Conversiel mensuna flowing, quiet, laughter. You're not part of Fertran, Vesilvitra V. Now you know what's happenings. Contacts your senses meet the froom, almost do something faint and listen. This perception then bind labels. I'm outside this. Thinking begins and then papanka proliferation takes over. Cốt lõi tư tưởng của ông đó là một nền về sự siêu. That the two souls you don't belong anywhere. Something's wrong with me and by the time you reach for the phone or the bin wrong with me or the door, you're not responding to the room. Silness of plopen vers swarsha siuta be unis faisu. You're responding to player. A wall, built in second, and then forgot at opu. The not true is the chain running, which we yim mano. The filnin chisin which means it can so. The chain vakalu. The chain kendo. The Seltzener was right. The sin the theatric to the suffering. The to unin natritic of afar. The ninin tichum sukaltikatri fradar. It's donut situ more learn to construct a. Or more social, and more everything else. Bao way to scoff for sumitiotriker. And to suffer about boundary. Badatao. The susun over to sunansen. For the softness us tunico. Hit, but a sự siêu việt và tự do. Thưa quý vị và các bạn, the stop chances, willing ving try the lation then. Tet, may all living beings be happy. Cốt lõi tư tưởng của ông, đó là một nền triết học, be free from stress and few. May all living forget measure, the universal way to mother holder. Child doten few fleischer, stretch, expanded. Tikun the still Soviet, but the still of above. Above, below, all around. Heart, The yuzi order the truktet, yunatsen, to yuno ishini usacho. Gotkanong gonashini for hofver, Sicilviet vidota nintanistri, the stones in need. You doing this, you change the quality of, you're the one thing that was never on the other side of the wall, ting mukbodi ping nin sinopolis. It's the yun is not to wait mashi the vectit satrown. Yunan and shin the coat vits in the remembering.